A billionaire planted $300,000 as a social experiment. A 9-year-old girl found it and turned it in. He was so moved, he tracked her down and changed her life. Paid her mother's medical bills. Became her family. Everyone thought it was beautiful, until someone asked the question no one had thought to ask. If the money was a test to see if people were honest, why did he need to test a 9-year-old girl specifically? What was he really looking for, and why was there a second suitcase? Before we dive into this story, hit subscribe right now. Sky's journey from invisible to unforgettable starts here. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from, because this truth hits every home, every country, every heart. Let's dive in. The police station smelled like metal and old coffee. Sky stood inside holding the suitcase with both hands. Her fingers hurt from gripping too hard, but she couldn't let go. If she let go, someone might take it before she explained. People stared. A woman behind the desk stopped typing. A man in uniform turned his whole body toward her. Another officer put down his phone. Nobody said anything. Sky's heart hit her ribs so hard she thought they could hear it. The red cardigan wasn't warm enough. It never was. But she wore it anyway because her mother gave it to her, and that made it matter. An older officer walked over. He looked tired. Not mean, just tired. "You okay?" he asked. Sky nodded, but her throat felt tight. "You here alone?" She nodded again. He crouched down a little, not all the way. Just enough so she didn't have to look up so far. "What's in the suitcase?" Sky's voice came out smaller than she wanted. "Money." The station got quieter, like everyone held their breath at the same time. "How much money?" "I don't know, a lot." "Where'd you get it?" "I found it." The officer's face changed, not angry, confused maybe, like he wanted to believe her but wasn't sure how. "Found it where?" "By the bus stop, near the old terminal." He stood up straight and looked at someone behind her. Sky turned. A man in a dark suit was walking toward them. He didn't look like the other officers. His shoes made clicking sounds on the floor. Everything about him felt expensive. The man stopped in front of her. Then he did something she didn't expect. He knelt down, all the way down, until their eyes were level. "Hi," he said. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "My name is Miles. What's yours?" "Sky." "Sky, that's a beautiful name." She didn't say, "Thank you." She was too busy trying to figure out if he was going to yell. "Can I ask you something?" Miles said. She nodded. "Why did you bring this here?" The question sat heavy in her chest. She thought about her mother's face this morning, how pale it was, how her breathing sounded wrong, how the envelopes on the table had red stamps that meant bad things. "My mom is sick," Sky said. Miles didn't move. "I took some," she added quickly. "Not all of it. Just enough for the hospital and rent. I was going to bring the rest back, but I got scared, so I brought all of it." Her eyes started burning, but she blinked hard. Crying made things worse. Adults got uncomfortable when kids cried. They stopped listening and started fixing. Miles looked at the suitcase, then back at her. "You did something really hard today," he said. Sky wasn't sure if that was good or bad. "Am I in trouble?" Miles opened his mouth, then closed it, like he wanted to say no but wasn't allowed to promise. That pause told her everything. "I didn't mean to steal," she whispered. "I just didn't want her to die without me there." The words fell out before she could stop them. Miles closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them again, they looked different. Sadder, maybe. Behind him, officers were talking in low voices. One of them held a phone to his ear. Another one was writing things down. Sky's hands started shaking. "Can I go home?" she asked. Miles didn't answer right away, and that silence hurt more than anything else could have. Miles stood up slowly. He looked at the other officers. One of them shook his head. Another one walked away like he didn't want to be part of whatever came next. Sky watched all of it. She learned a long time ago that adults talked with their bodies before their mouths. The way someone turned away meant no. The way someone crossed their arms meant you're wrong. The way someone looked at the floor meant they already decided and didn't want to see your face when they said it. "Sky," Miles said, "I need you to wait here for a minute. Can you do that?" "Where are you going?" "Just over there. I'm not leaving." She looked where he pointed, just across the room. She could still see him from here. "Okay." A female officer brought over a chair. It was plastic and cold. Sky sat down and put the suitcase between her knees. She didn't let go of the handle. Miles walked to the desk and started talking quietly with two other officers. One of them kept looking back at her. Not mean. More like he was trying to solve something in his head. Sky's stomach hurt. She hadn't eaten since yesterday. Her mother told her to eat the last piece of bread, but Sky said she wasn't hungry. That was a lie. She just knew her mother needed it more. The clock on the wall said 4:15. Her mother would be awake by now, maybe wondering where she went, maybe scared. Sky should have left a note, but she didn't know what to write. "I found money," sounded like a lie. "I'm at the police station," sounded worse. Miles came back. He pulled another chair over and sat down next to her. Not across from her, next to her, like they were on the same side. "I need to ask you some more questions," he said. "Is that okay?" Sky nodded. "How old are you?" 9. "Where do you live?" She told him the address. He didn't write it down, but his face changed like he recognized it. People always did. That part of town had a reputation. "And your mom? What's her name?" "Althea." "She's sick?" "Yes." "What kind of sick?" Sky didn't know the word for it. The doctor said things she couldn't repeat. Big words that sounded serious. "The kind where she can't get out of bed," Sky said, "and sometimes she forgets to breathe right." Miles leaned forward a little. "Is anyone else at home with her?" "No." "No one?" "Just me." His jaw tightened. "How long have you been taking care of her?" Sky tried to count in her head. Weeks? Months? Time felt different when every day was the same kind of hard. "A while," she said. "Does she know you're here?" "No." "Does anyone know you're here?" Sky shook her head. Miles rubbed his face with both hands. He looked like he wanted to say something but couldn't figure out how. Another officer came over. This one was older. Gray hair. Deep voice. "We need to contact Child Services," he said. Sky didn't know what that meant, but it sounded bad. "Wait," Miles said. "It's protocol." "I understand that. But give me a minute." The officer looked annoyed, but he walked away. Miles turned back to Sky. His eyes were different now, like he was seeing something he didn't want to see. "Sky, listen to me very carefully. Some people are going to come here. They're going to ask you questions. They might want to take you somewhere safe while we figure things out." Her chest went tight. "I don't want to go somewhere safe. I want to go home." "I know. My mom needs me." "I know. Please don't make me leave her." Miles closed his eyes. When he opened them, they looked wet. "I'm going to try," he said, "but I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" Sky looked at him for a long time. She didn't know him, didn't know if he meant what he said, didn't know if trust was even smart right now, but she nodded anyway, because sometimes hope was all you had left. A woman walked in 20 minutes later. She wore a gray jacket and carried a folder. Her smile was practiced, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. Sky knew that smile. Social workers had come to their apartment before. They asked questions and wrote things down and left. Nothing ever changed except her mother cried after they were gone. "Hi, Sky," the woman said. "My name is Mrs. Patterson. I'm here to help." Sky didn't respond. Mrs. Patterson sat down across from her. She opened the folder and clicked her pen. "I need to ask you some questions about your home. Is that okay?" "I already answered questions." "I know, but I need to hear it from you directly." Miles stood a few feet away. He wasn't looking at his phone. He was just standing there, watching. "Do you have food at home?" Mrs. Patterson asked. "Sometimes." "What did you eat today?" Sky thought about lying, but lies always made things worse later. "Nothing yet." Mrs. Patterson wrote something down. Her pen made scratching sounds that felt too loud. "What about yesterday?" "Bread." "Just bread?" "Yes." More writing. "And your mother? You said she's sick. Has she seen a doctor?" "We went to the clinic last month." "What did they say?" "That she needs medicine. And rest. And tests we can't pay for." Mrs. Patterson's face didn't change, but her pen moved faster. "Is your mother able to take care of you right now?" The question hit different than the others. Sky's throat got tight. "She tries." "That's not what I asked." "She loves me." "I'm sure she does. But can she take care of you?" Sky looked down at her hands. Her nails were dirty. She tried to clean them this morning, but the water was cold and the soap was almost gone. "I take care of her," Sky said quietly. Mrs. Patterson stopped writing. She looked up. "Sky, you're 9 years old. You shouldn't have to take care of anyone." "But who else is going to do it?" The question sat there between them. Mrs. Patterson closed her folder. She looked at Miles, then back at Sky. "I think it would be best if you came with me tonight, just for a little while, until we can make sure your mom gets the help she needs." Sky's stomach dropped. "No. It's temporary." "No. Sky, I need to go home. She doesn't know where I am. She'll be scared. We'll send someone to check on her. She needs me, not someone." Mrs. Patterson's voice got firmer. "This isn't a punishment. We're trying to keep you safe." "I'm already safe." "You're 9 years old taking care of a sick adult with no food in the house. That's not safe." Sky stood up fast. The chair scraped against the floor. "I'm not going." "Sky, you can't make me." Miles stepped forward. "Hold on." Mrs. Patterson looked at him. "Sir, this doesn't concern you." "Actually, it does. Are you family?" "No." "Then you have no legal standing here." Miles' jaw tightened. "I have moral standing. That's not how this works." Sky felt her eyes burning again. This time she couldn't stop it. Tears came fast and hot and embarrassing. "Please," she whispered. "Please don't take me away from her. She's all I have." Mrs. Patterson's face softened just a little, but not enough. "I'm sorry," she said, "but this is what's best." Sky looked at Miles. His hands were clenched into fists at his sides. His jaw was tight. He looked like he wanted to do something but didn't know what. "You said you'd try," Sky said to him. Her voice cracked on the last word. Miles closed his eyes. When he opened them, he looked straight at Mrs. Patterson. "If you take her tonight," he said slowly, "I will make sure every news station in this city knows exactly how this went down." Mrs. Patterson stared at him. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm making a promise." The room went quiet. Nobody moved. Then Miles knelt down in front of Sky one more time. "Where's your mom right now?" he asked. "Home, in bed." "What's the address?" Sky told him again. Miles stood up and looked at Mrs. Patterson. "We're going to check on her mother first," he said, "together. Then we decide what happens next." Mrs. Patterson's mouth opened, then closed. She looked at Sky, then at the suitcase, then back at Miles. Finally, she nodded. "Fine, but I'm coming with you." Sky's heart was still racing, but something loosened in her chest. Not relief. Just a little more time. The car ride felt longer than it was. Sky sat in the back seat next to Mrs. Patterson. Miles drove. Nobody talked. Sky pressed her forehead against the window and watched the streets pass. Everything looked different from inside a car. Smaller somehow. Less real. She counted the blocks until they got close. 4 more. 3. 2. Her building looked worse than usual. The front door didn't close all the way. Graffiti covered the mailboxes. A trash bag had split open on the sidewalk and nobody cleaned it up. Miles parked. He turned off the engine but didn't get out right away. Mrs. Patterson was already writing in her folder again. They walked up 3 flights of stairs because the elevator was broken. It had been broken for 2 months. Sky stopped noticing after the first week. When they got to the door, Sky's hands started shaking. She pulled out her key. The metal felt cold. "Mom?" she called out before opening it. "It's me." No answer. Sky's heart dropped. She pushed the door open and ran inside. Her mother was still in bed. Her eyes were closed. For one terrible second, Sky thought she wasn't breathing. Then Althea's chest moved. Sky let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. "Mama?" Althea's eyes opened slowly. They were unfocused at first. Then they found Sky. "Baby?" Her voice was hoarse. "Where did you go?" "I had to do something. I'm sorry." Althea tried to sit up but couldn't. She fell back against the pillow. Miles and Mrs. Patterson stood in the doorway. Althea saw them and her face changed. "Who are they?" she asked. Fear crept into her voice. "They're here to help," Sky said quickly. "Help with what?" Mrs. Patterson stepped forward. "Ms. Johnson?" "Yes." "I'm from Child Services. We need to talk about Sky." Althea's eyes went wide. She tried to sit up again. This time she made it halfway before her arms gave out. "No," she said. "No. You can't take her. We're just here to assess the situation. I'm her mother. I understand that. She belongs with me. Ms. Johnson, when was the last time you ate?" Althea didn't answer. "When was the last time you saw a doctor?" Still nothing. Mrs. Patterson looked around the apartment, the empty fridge, the stack of bills on the table, the bucket in the corner catching water from a leak in the ceiling. She wrote more notes. Sky wanted to scream, wanted to grab the folder and rip it up, wanted to make them see that this wasn't the whole story. "We do our best," Sky said. Her voice came out too loud. "We're fine." Mrs. Patterson looked at her with that same practiced sympathy. "Sky, this isn't fine. We just need a little help, that's all. That's what I'm trying to give you. No, you're trying to take me away. I'm trying to make sure you're safe. I am safe. I'm with her." Althea reached out and Sky grabbed her hand. It felt too thin, too fragile. "Please," Althea whispered. "Please don't do this." Miles had been quiet the whole time. Now he stepped forward. "How much do you need?" he asked Althea. Everyone turned to look at him. "What?" Althea said. "For rent, for medicine, for food. How much?" Althea stared at him like she didn't understand the question. "I don't want charity," she said. "It's not charity." "Then what is it?" Miles looked at Sky, then back at Althea. "Accountability," he said. Mrs. Patterson frowned. "Sir, you can't just—" "How much?" Miles asked again. Althea's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know. 3,000? Maybe 4? I stopped counting." Miles pulled out his phone. He made a call. It lasted less than a minute. "It'll be in your account by morning," he said. Althea shook her head. "I can't pay you back. I'm not asking you to. Why would you do this?" Miles looked at Sky again. His face was hard to read. "Because she already paid," he said quietly. Nobody spoke. Mrs. Patterson closed her folder. She looked frustrated. "This doesn't solve everything," she said. Ms. Johnson still needs medical care. Sky still needs stability. Money doesn't fix that overnight. No, Miles agreed, but it buys time. Mrs. Patterson stared at him for a long moment. Then she looked at Althea. I'm going to come back in 2 weeks, she said. If things haven't improved, I'm removing Sky from this home. Do you understand? Althea nodded. Tears ran down her face, but she didn't wipe them away. 2 weeks, Mrs. Patterson repeated. She left without saying goodbye. The apartment felt different after she was gone. Quieter. Heavier. Sky sat on the edge of the bed and held her mother's hand. Althea looked at Miles. Who are you? Miles hesitated. Someone who made a mistake. What kind of mistake? The kind that hurt people I didn't mean to hurt. Althea studied his face. And now you're trying to fix it. I'm trying, he said. She nodded slowly, like she understood something nobody said out loud. Thank you, she whispered. Miles didn't respond. He just stood there looking like he didn't know what to do with gratitude. Finally, Sky spoke. Are you going to leave now? Miles looked at her. His eyes were tired. Do you want me to? Sky thought about it. She didn't know him. Didn't know if he'd come back. Didn't know if any of this would last. But she shook her head anyway. Not yet, she said. Miles sat in the plastic chair by the window. He didn't ask permission, just sat down like he planned to stay a while. Sky watched him from the bed. She was still holding her mother's hand. Why did you really help us? Sky asked. Miles looked at her. I told you. You said accountability. That's not a real answer. He was quiet for a moment. Then he leaned forward with his elbows on his knees. That suitcase you found, he said. I put it there. Sky's grip on her mother's hand tightened. What? It was a test. I wanted to see what people would do when they found money. I had cameras watching. I thought it would prove something about human nature. Sky felt something cold spread through her chest. You were watching me? Yes. The whole time? Yes. She let go of her mother's hand. So you knew. You knew I took some. You knew I was struggling. And you just watched. Miles closed his eyes. Yes. Why didn't you stop me? Because I thought the experiment mattered more than the person. The words hung in the air. Althea tried to sit up again. This time she managed to stay upright. You used my daughter, she said. Her voice was weak but sharp. I did. For what? To prove some theory? To prove that people are selfish when given the chance. Althea stared at him. And what did you learn? Miles looked at Sky. That I was wrong. Sky felt tears coming again. She hated how easily they came now. I trusted you, she said. I know. I thought you were helping because you cared. I do care. Now. But you didn't before. Miles shook his head. No, I didn't. Sky stood up fast. Then leave. We don't need your guilt money. Sky, leave. Althea reached for Sky's arm. Baby. Wait. Mom. He used us. I know. And you're okay with that? Althea looked at Miles, then back at Sky. No, she said quietly. I'm not okay with it. But I also know what happens if he leaves right now. Sky felt her chest tighten. She knew too. Mrs. Patterson would come back. The bills wouldn't get paid. Her mother wouldn't get better. And in 2 weeks she'd be taken away. That's not fair, Sky whispered. No, Althea agreed. It's not. Miles stood up slowly. He looked like he wanted to say something, but couldn't find the words. I can't undo what I did, he said finally. But I can try to make it right. How? Sky asked. By throwing money at us until you feel better? By staying. The word landed hard. Sky stared at him. What does that mean? It means I don't leave when it gets uncomfortable. It means I show up. It means I do the work. Why would you do that? Miles looked at her for a long time. Because you brought the money back, he said. You could have kept it, run away, disappeared, but you didn't. You carried it to a police station because you thought it was right, even though it scared you, even though you needed it. His voice cracked slightly. You're 9 years old and you have more integrity than I've had in my entire life. Sky didn't know what to say to that. Althea spoke instead. How do we know you won't leave? You don't, Miles said honestly. I could walk out right now and never come back, send money from a distance and call it helping. But you won't? No. Why not? Miles looked out the window. The sun was setting. The light made everything look softer than it was. Because I'm tired of being the kind of person who walks away, he said. Nobody spoke for a while. Then Althea asked the question that mattered most. What happens when the news finds out? About the experiment, about the cameras, about all of it. Miles turned back to face them. They already know. Sky's stomach dropped. What? I told them. This morning. Before we came here. Why would you do that? Because hiding it would have made things worse, and because you deserved better than being part of a secret. Althea closed her eyes. So people know about us now. Yes. They know about Sky, about our apartment, about everything. Yes. And you thought that was the right choice? Miles hesitated. I thought it was the honest choice. Sky felt sick. She imagined people talking about her, pointing, whispering, judging. I don't want to be famous, she said quietly. I know. I just wanted to help my mom. I know. Now everyone's going to think I'm either a thief or a charity case. Miles knelt down in front of her again. They're going to think whatever they want. People always do. But you know the truth. And that matters more. Sky wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Does it? She asked, because right now it just feels like everything's worse. Miles didn't have an answer for that, because she was right. Morning came too fast. Sky woke up on the couch. She didn't remember falling asleep. The last thing she remembered was Miles sitting by the window and her mother breathing steadily for the first time in days. The apartment was quiet. She sat up and looked around. Miles was gone. Her heart sank. Of course he left. People always left. Then she heard water running in the kitchen. She stood up and walked over. Miles was at the sink washing dishes. There weren't many. Just the few they'd left piled up because her mother was too weak and Sky was too tired. He didn't look up, just kept washing. You're still here, Sky said. I said I would be. People say a lot of things. Miles turned off the water. He dried his hands on a towel that had more holes than fabric. You're right, he said. They do. He opened the fridge. It was empty except for half a bottle of water and something that might have been leftovers a week ago. He closed it and pulled out his phone. What do you eat for breakfast? He asked. Sky shrugged. Whatever's there. That's not what I asked. She thought about it. Pancakes. When we can. Miles nodded. He made a call. It was quick. When he hung up, he looked at her. Someone's bringing groceries in an hour. Sky didn't say, thank you. She didn't know if she wanted to. Her mother was still asleep. Sky checked on her twice already. Each time she put her hand near her mother's mouth just to feel the breath. Miles saw her do it. She's okay, he said gently. You don't know that. You're right. But she's breathing. That's something. Sky sat down at the table. There was a crack down the middle that they'd covered with tape. It didn't really fix anything, but it made it look less broken. What happens now? She asked. Miles sat across from her. Now we wait. For what? For the money to clear. For your mom to get strong enough to see a doctor. For Mrs. Patterson to decide whether to come back. And if she does come back, Then we show her things are different. Are they? Miles looked around the apartment, at the peeling paint, the water stain on the ceiling, the window that didn't close right. Not yet, he admitted, but they will be. Skye picked at the tape on the table. Why do you keep saying we? Because you're not doing this alone anymore. I've always been alone. I know. That changes today. Skye looked at him, really looked at him. His suit was wrinkled now. His eyes had dark circles. He looked tired in a way that was new. Are you going to lose things? She asked. Because of what you told people? Miles nodded. Probably. What kind of things? Business deals, partnerships, respect. Does that scare you? He thought about it. Less than I expected. There was a knock at the door. Skye jumped. Miles stood up. It's just the groceries, he said. But when he opened the door, it wasn't groceries. It was a reporter with a camera. The woman smiled, but it didn't feel friendly. Mr. Calderon, can I ask you a few questions? Miles stepped into the doorway, blocking the view inside. No. The public has a right to know. They don't have a right to her. The reporter looked past him, tried to see Skye. Miles moved to block her view completely. Leave, he said. Mr. Calderon. Now. His voice wasn't loud, but it was final. The reporter hesitated. Then she left. Miles closed the door. He locked it. Then he locked the second lock that barely worked. Skye's hands were shaking. Are they going to come back? She asked. Probably. What do we do? We don't answer. Skye felt the walls closing in. This was her home. Not much of one, but hers. Now it didn't even feel safe. I shouldn't have brought the suitcase back, she whispered. I should have just kept it. Or thrown it away. Or done anything else. Miles knelt down in front of her. No. You did the right thing. Then why does it feel so wrong? Because doing the right thing doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it just proves you were brave enough to try. Skye's eyes filled with tears. I don't want to be brave. I just want things to be normal. I know. I want my mom to be okay. I want to go to school without being scared. I want to eat dinner without worrying about tomorrow. I know. Can you actually give me that? Or are you just going to give me money and feel better about yourself? The question was sharp, honest, mean in the way truth sometimes had to be. Miles didn't flinch. I don't know yet, but I'm going to try. Skye wiped her face with her sleeve. Trying isn't enough. You're right. It's not. Another knock at the door. Skye froze. Miles stood up slowly. He looked through the peephole. It's the groceries this time, he said. He opened the door just enough to take the bags. He didn't let anyone see inside. When he brought them to the kitchen, Skye saw how many there were. 6 bags, full. More food than they'd had in months. She stared at it. Should have felt relief, maybe even happiness. Instead, she just felt tired. Miles started unpacking. He didn't ask where things went. He just figured it out. Skye watched him put cereal in the cabinet, milk in the fridge, bread on the counter. This doesn't fix anything, she said quietly. Miles stopped. He looked at her. No, he agreed. But it's a start. Skye wasn't sure she believed him, but she was too exhausted to argue anymore. 3 days passed. Miles came back every morning, sometimes with food, sometimes with nothing, but he came. Skye stopped asking why. Her mother was getting stronger, slowly. She could sit up now without help, could drink water without spilling it, could stay awake for more than an hour at a time. The money cleared. Miles paid the rent directly to the landlord, paid the electric bill, paid the water bill, paid everything that had red stamps on it. Skye watched it happen and felt something twist inside her, relief and shame at the same time. On the 4th day, her mother finally spoke about it. We can't keep taking from him, Althea said. Sky was making toast. The toaster was old and only worked on one side, so you had to flip the bread halfway through. What else are we supposed to do? Sky asked. I don't know, but this doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right anymore. Althea was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Come here. Sky brought over the toast, sat on the edge of the bed. Her mother touched her face gently. I'm sorry. For what? For not being strong enough. For making you carry this. Mom, let me finish. Althea's eyes were wet. You're 9 years old. You should be thinking about school and friends and normal things. Not whether we'll have food tomorrow. Not whether I'll wake up. Sky's throat got tight. I don't mind. Yes, you do. You just don't say it. That was true. Sky looked down at her hands. I got scared when you wouldn't wake up that morning. I know. I thought you were gone. I'm still here. But for how long? The question came out before Sky could stop it. Althea pulled her close, held her in a way she hadn't been able to in weeks. I don't know, she whispered. But I'm fighting. I promise I'm fighting. They stayed like that until the toast got cold. When Miles came by later that afternoon, he brought something different. A doctor. The woman was older. Kind eyes. She carried a black bag and didn't ask questions about the apartment. This is Dr. Chen, Miles said. She's going to check on your mother. Althea tensed. I can't afford. Already handled, Miles said. That's not. Please, he interrupted gently. Just let her help. Dr. Chen sat on the edge of the bed. She checked Althea's pulse, her breathing, her eyes. She asked questions. Althea answered quietly. Sky stood by the door watching. Miles stood next to her. Is this what you meant by staying? Sky asked quietly. Yes. How long are you going to do this? As long as it takes. That's not a real answer. Miles looked at her. I don't have a better one. Dr. Chen finished her exam. She wrote something on a pad and handed it to Althea. You need these medications, she said. I'm also recommending physical therapy. Twice a week to start. Althea stared at the paper. I can't. It's covered, Dr. Chen said. She looked at Miles when she said it. After the doctor left, Althea cried. Not sad crying, something else. Sky sat with her and didn't say anything. Later that night, when her mother was asleep, Sky found Miles sitting on the steps outside their building. She sat down next to him. Thank you, she said. It hurt to say, but she meant it. Miles nodded, didn't make a big deal out of it. Can I ask you something? Sky said. Yes. What happens when people stop caring about the story? When it's not news anymore? Miles was quiet for a long time. I don't know, he said honestly. Will you still be here? He looked at her. Yes. How do I know you mean that? You don't. You just have to decide whether to believe me or not. Sky pulled her cardigan tighter. The night was cold. I don't know if I can, she said. That's fair. They sat in silence. Then Sky asked the question that had been sitting in her chest for days. Do you have kids? Miles shook his head. No. Why not? I never made time for it. Work was always more important. Do you regret that? He thought about it. I didn't until now. Sky picked at a loose thread on her sleeve. I'm not your kid. I know. So why are you doing this? Miles leaned forward, elbows on his knees, hands folded. Because I spent my whole life building things that didn't matter. Companies. Wealth. Reputation. And I thought that made me important. He paused. Then I watched a 9-year-old girl carry a suitcase full of money to a police station because she thought it was right. And I realized I'd never done anything that brave in my life. Sky didn't know what to say to that. "You're trying to fix yourself," she said quietly. "Not help us." Miles looked at her. "Maybe. But does it matter if the result is the same?" Sky thought about that. "I don't know." A car drove past, music playing too loud. When it was quiet again, Miles spoke. "I'm going to mess this up," he said. "I'll say the wrong thing, or do something that hurts you, or not. Understand what you need. I'm going to fail at this more than I succeed. Then why try? Because failing while trying is better than succeeding at nothing." Sky looked at him. Really looked at him. He looked tired, lost, human. "Okay," she said finally. "Okay, what?" "Okay, I'll let you try." Miles closed his eyes. When he opened them, they looked different, lighter somehow. "Thank you," he said quietly. They sat together until the cold got too much. Then they went back inside. School started again on Monday. Sky hadn't been in over a week. She told herself it was because her mother needed her. That was partly true. The other part was she didn't want to face anyone. But Miles showed up that morning with a backpack. New. Still had the tags on it. "You're going today," he said. "I can't leave her. Your mother will be fine for a few hours. Dr. Chen is coming by at noon." Sky looked at her mother. Althea nodded weakly. "Go, baby. You need to go." Sky's stomach twisted. What if something happens? Then Miles will come get you. "Promise?" Miles looked her in the eye. "Promise." The walk to school felt wrong. Miles walked beside her but didn't talk much, just stayed close. When they got to the front steps, Sky stopped. Kids were everywhere, talking, laughing, being normal. She didn't feel normal anymore. "I can't do this," she said. "Yes, you can. Everyone's going to stare." "Probably. They're going to ask questions. Maybe. I don't know what to say." Miles knelt down. "Then don't say anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation." Sky looked at the door, then back at him. "What if they're mean?" "Then you walk away, and I'll be right here when school ends." She didn't believe that. Not completely, but she nodded anyway. Inside the building, everything felt too loud. Lockers slamming, voices echoing, shoes squeaking on floors. Sky kept her head down and walked to her classroom. She made it 3 steps inside before it started. "That's her," someone whispered. "The girl with the money. I heard she stole it. I heard she was homeless. My mom said she's famous now." Sky's face got hot. She sat at her desk and pulled out a notebook. Pretended to read. Her teacher, Ms. Rivera, came over. "Welcome back, Sky." "Thanks. If you need anything, let me know." Sky nodded but didn't look up. The morning dragged. Every time she felt someone staring, she wanted to disappear. At lunch, she sat alone. That was normal. She always sat alone. But today it felt different. Today it felt like a choice people were making. A girl from her class walked past, then stopped, turned around. "Is it true?" she asked. Sky looked up. "Is what true?" "That you found $300,000. I don't want to talk about it." "But did you?" "Please, leave me alone." The girl didn't move. "My mom says you should have kept it, that you were stupid to give it back." Sky's chest got tight. I didn't. Give it back. I brought it to the police. There's a difference." "Why?" "Because it wasn't mine." "So, who cares?" Sky stared at her. "I did." The girl made a face like she didn't understand. Then she walked away. Sky didn't eat her lunch, just pushed it around on the tray until the bell rang. The afternoon was worse. Someone left a note on her desk. It said "thief" in big letters. She crumpled it up and threw it away. Another note appeared during math. This one said, "You think you're better than us." She didn't throw that one away. She kept it. Wasn't sure why. When the final bell rang, Sky grabbed her backpack and ran. She pushed through the doors and looked for Miles. He wasn't there. Her heart dropped. She waited. 5 minutes, 10, other kids left. Parents picked them up. The sidewalk emptied. Still no Miles. Sky felt something crack inside her chest. He lied, just like everyone else. She started walking home, eyes burning, but she refused to cry. She made it 2 blocks before she heard her name. Sky, wait. She turned around. Miles was running toward her, actually running, his phone in one hand. He looked panicked. "I'm sorry," he said when he caught up. "Traffic. There was an accident. I tried to call the school, but you said you'd be there. I know. I'm sorry. You promised. I know." Sky felt the tears come, hot and fast and angry. Everyone lies. Everyone. I didn't lie. I was late. There's a difference. It doesn't feel different. Miles crouched down. You're right. It doesn't. And I'm sorry. Sky wiped her face with her sleeve. School was terrible. What happened? Everyone stared. Everyone whispered. Someone called me a thief. Miles's jaw tightened. Did you tell a teacher? What's a teacher going to do? Make them stop thinking it? He didn't have an answer for that. They walked home in silence. When they got to the apartment, her mother was awake, sitting up, looking better than she had in days. How was school? Althea asked. Sky wanted to lie, say it was fine, say it was good, but she was tired of lying. Bad, she said. Althea's face fell. I'm sorry, baby. It's not your fault. It feels like it is. Sky sat on the bed. Let her mother hold her. Miles stood by the door, watching, not knowing what to do with his hands. I should go, he said quietly. Wait, Sky said. He stopped. She didn't know why she said it, didn't know what she wanted him to do. She just knew she didn't want to be alone with the feeling in her chest. Stay for dinner, Althea said. It's not much, but you're welcome. Miles looked surprised. Are you sure? No, but stay anyway. So he did. They ate pasta with butter because that's all they had. Nobody talked much, but it felt less lonely than eating alone. After dinner, Miles started to leave. Sky walked him to the door. Tomorrow I'll be on time, he said. Okay. I mean it. I know. He hesitated. Are you okay? Sky thought about the question. No, but I will be. Miles nodded. That's good enough. He left. Sky locked the door and stood there for a minute. Her mother called from the bed. He's trying. I know. That counts for something. Does it? I think so. Sky wasn't sure yet, but she was starting to hope. Miles was early the next day. Sky saw him through the window, standing on the sidewalk, checking his watch. She grabbed her backpack and headed down before he could come up. You're early, she said. I know. They walked in silence for half a block. Then Sky spoke. I'm scared to go back. I know. What if it's worse today? Then we deal with it. How? Miles stopped walking. Looked at her. What do you want to do? You can stay home. I'll talk to the school. Make it work. Sky thought about it. Staying home sounded safer. But safe wasn't the same as right. No, she said. I should go. You sure? No, but I'm going anyway. Miles nodded. Something in his face looked proud. When they got to school, he walked her all the way to the door this time. I'll be here at 3, he said. Not 3:15. Not 3:30. 3. Okay. And if something happens, you call the office. They'll call me. I'll come. Okay. He hesitated like he wanted to say more, then just nodded and left. Sky went inside. The staring started immediately. But today she didn't look down. She looked straight ahead and kept walking. Someone bumped into her on purpose. She kept walking. Someone laughed when she passed. She kept walking. In class, Miss Rivera made an announcement. We're going to talk about respect today, about how we treat each other when things are hard. A few kids glanced at Sky. She stared at her desk. Ms. Rivera kept talking about kindness and empathy and all the words adults used when they wanted kids to behave better. Sky stopped listening. At lunch, she sat in the same spot, alone. But today someone sat down across from her. A boy named Marcus. He was quiet, kept to himself mostly. "Hi," he said. Sky looked up. "Hi. Can I sit here? You already are?" He smiled a little. "Yeah, I guess." They didn't talk, just ate in silence. It felt less lonely. When lunch ended, Marcus stood up. "See you tomorrow?" "Okay." That afternoon, a girl named Jasmine stopped by Sky's desk. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. Sky looked up. "For what?" "For what people are saying. It's not fair." "It's okay." "No, it's not. But I wanted you to know not everyone thinks like that." Jasmine walked away before Sky could respond. When the bell rang, Sky packed up slowly. She walked outside. Miles was already there, leaning against a pole, exactly at 3. Sky felt something loosen in her chest. "How was today?" he asked. "Better." "Yeah?" "Yeah." They walked home together. This time Sky told him about Marcus, about Jasmine. Miles listened without interrupting. When they got to the E&CU apartment, her mother was in the kitchen, standing, making tea. Sky stopped in the doorway. "You're up," she said. Althea turned, smiled. "I'm up." It wasn't much, just making tea. But it felt huge. Sky felt tears coming, but they were different this time. Not sad tears, something else. Her mother hugged her, held her tight. "We're going to be okay," Althea whispered. Sky wanted to believe that. Miles stood by the door watching. He looked like he didn't belong in the moment. "Stay," Althea said without looking at him. "You sure?" "Yes." So he stayed. They drank tea together, talked about nothing important. It felt normal. Almost. Later that night, after Miles left, Sky lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Her mother was sleeping better now. The breathing was steady. Normal. Sky thought about the suitcase, about the day she found it, about how everything changed after that. She used to wish she'd never seen it. Now she wasn't sure. The next morning, Miles brought breakfast. Real breakfast. Eggs, bacon, orange juice. They ate at the table together. "I have to go away for 2 days," Miles said. Sky's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. "Where?" "Business. I have to close some things, sign papers, handle things I've been avoiding." "Oh, but I'll be back Thursday morning. Dr. Chen will still come by, and I'll call every night." Sky nodded but didn't look at him. "You're upset," he said. "No." "Sky." She put her fork down. "You said you'd stay." "I am staying. 2 days isn't leaving. It feels like leaving." Miles was quiet for a moment. "You're right. It does. But I have to do this or I'll lose everything. And if I lose everything, I can't help you. So you're doing this for us." "I'm doing this so I can keep showing up." Sky looked at her mother. Althea nodded slightly. "Okay," Sky said. "But you have to call." "I will. Every night. Every night." Miles left that afternoon. The apartment felt different without him. Bigger somehow. Emptier. That night the phone rang at 7. Sky answered. "Hello?" "Hey, it's me." Miles's voice sounded tired. "Hi. How was your day?" "Okay." Marcus sat with me again at lunch. "That's good." "Yeah." Silence. "I miss you being here," Sky said quietly. Miles was quiet for a second. "I miss being there." "Really? Really?" They talked for 20 minutes, about nothing, about everything. When they hung up, Sky felt better. Her mother smiled from the bed. "He's trying." "I know." "Do you trust him yet?" Sky thought about it. "Not all the way, but more than before." "That's enough for now." The next day was harder. Mrs. Patterson called, said she was coming by Friday. Althea's hands shook when she hung up. "It'll be okay," Sky said. "What if it's not?" Then we deal with it. Sky realized she sounded like Miles when she said that. That night when Miles called, Sky told him about Mrs. Patterson. "I'll be back before she comes," he said. "Promise?" "Promise." For real this time? For real. Sky wanted to believe him, had to believe him, because the alternative was too scary to think about. Thursday morning came and Miles wasn't back. Sky checked the window every 10 minutes, watched the street, waited. By noon, she stopped checking. Her mother tried calling him. It went to voicemail. "He's probably on a plane," Althea said, but her voice didn't sound sure. Sky didn't say anything, just sat on the couch and stared at nothing. School had been better. Marcus and Jasmine talked to her now, not a lot, but enough. She'd told them Miles was helping her family. They didn't ask more questions. But now Miles was gone, and Mrs. Patterson was coming tomorrow, and everything felt like it was falling apart again. At 3 o'clock someone knocked. Sky's heart jumped. She ran to the door. It wasn't Miles. It was a woman in a delivery uniform. She held a large box. "Sky Johnson?" "Yes." "Sign here." Sky signed. The woman left. She brought the box inside. Her mother sat up. "What is it?" "I don't know." Sky opened it carefully. Inside were groceries, more than last time, and a note. The handwriting was messy, like someone wrote it in a hurry. "Flight delayed. We'll be there tomorrow morning, I promise." Sky read it 3 times. "He's coming," she said quietly. "He's coming," her mother repeated. But tomorrow morning meant Mrs. Patterson might get there first. That night Sky couldn't sleep. She lay in bed counting the cracks in the ceiling. 42. She'd counted them before. At midnight, her mother called her over. "Come here, baby." Sky climbed into bed with her, something she hadn't done in years. Althea wrapped her arms around her. "Whatever happens tomorrow, we'll get through it." "What if she takes me away?" "Then I'll fight. And Miles will fight. And we'll get you back." "What if you can't?" Althea's voice cracked. "Then I'll spend every day trying." Sky pressed her face into her mother's shoulder. "I don't want to leave you. I don't want you to leave either." They stayed like that until Sky finally fell asleep. Morning came too fast. Sky woke up at 6, got dressed, made toast even though she wasn't hungry. Her mother was already up. She'd brushed her hair, put on clean clothes, tried to make everything look okay. 7 o'clock, no Miles. 8 o'clock, no Miles. At 8:30 someone knocked. Sky's stomach dropped. Althea opened the door. Mrs. Patterson stood there with her folder. Same gray jacket, same practice smile. "Good morning," she said. "Good morning." Mrs. Patterson came inside. Her eyes scanned everything. The clean kitchen, the full fridge, the folded laundry. "Things look different," she said. "They are different. How's your health?" "Better. I'm seeing a doctor regularly now. Taking medication." Mrs. Patterson wrote something down. "And Sky, how is school?" "Good," Sky said quickly. "I'm going every day." "Any problems?" "No." Mrs. Patterson looked at her for a long moment, like she was trying to decide if that was true. "Where's Mr. Calderon?" "He had to travel for work. He'll be back today." "I see." More writing. "May I look around?" Althea nodded. Mrs. Patterson walked through the small apartment, checked the bedroom, the bathroom, opened the fridge, looked in the cabinets. Sky stood frozen, watching. Every second felt like an hour. Finally, Mrs. Patterson came back to the main room. She closed her folder. "I have to be honest," she said. "I didn't expect to see this much improvement." Althea exhaled. "We've been trying." "I can see that. So, what happens now?" Mrs. Patterson was quiet for a moment. "I'm going to recommend continued monitoring, monthly check-ins for the next 6 months, but Sky can stay." Sky felt her knees go weak. "Really?" she whispered. "Really?" Althea started crying. Not sad crying, relief crying. Mrs. Patterson's face softened just slightly. This doesn't mean everything's fixed. You still have work to do, but you're moving in the right direction. Thank you, Althea said. Mrs. Patterson nodded. I'll be back next month, same time. She left. The door closed. Skye and her mother stood there in silence. Then Althea pulled her close and held on tight. We did it, she whispered. We did it. They were still holding each other when another knock came 20 minutes later. This time it was Miles. He looked exhausted. His suit was wrinkled. His eyes were red. I'm sorry, he said immediately. The flight was delayed and then canceled, and I had to drive through the night. She already came, Skye interrupted. Miles froze. What? Mrs. Patterson. She was here. And? Skye felt a smile break across her face. First real smile in days. I get to stay. Miles closed his eyes. His whole body sagged with relief. You get to stay, he repeated. I get to stay. He knelt down, and Skye did something she hadn't planned. She hugged him. Miles went completely still, like he didn't know what to do. Then slowly he hugged her back. Thank you, Skye whispered, for not leaving. Miles's voice was rough when he spoke. Thank you for letting me try. When they pulled apart, Miles's eyes were wet. Althea was watching from the doorway, smiling. You should sleep, she said to Miles. You look terrible. Miles laughed, actually laughed. I feel terrible. There's a couch. I couldn't. You could. And you will. Miles looked at Skye. She nodded. Okay, he said. He collapsed on the couch and was asleep in minutes. Skye got ready for school. Before she left, she put a blanket over him. He didn't wake up. Her mother walked her to the door. We're going to be okay, Althea said. And for the first time, Skye actually believed it. 2 weeks passed. Life found a rhythm. Miles came by every morning. Sometimes he stayed for breakfast. Sometimes he just walked Skye to school and left. Her mother was stronger now. She could make dinner, do laundry, stand without getting dizzy. The medications were working. At school, things got easier, not perfect, but easier. Marcus sat with Skye every day at lunch now. Jasmine joined them sometimes. They didn't talk about the money, didn't talk about what happened. They just talked about homework and movies and normal things. Skye started to feel like a regular kid again, but at night she still checked the locks twice, still counted her mother's breaths, still waited for something to go wrong. One afternoon, Miles picked her up from school looking different. Tired, but not the exhausted kind, the thinking kind. Can we talk? He asked. Skye's stomach tightened. Those words never meant good things. Okay. They walked to a small park near the school, sat on a bench. Miles was quiet for a long time. I'm selling my company, he finally said. Skye looked at him. Why? Because I can't run it the way I used to. My head's not in it anymore. Where's your head? Here. With you. With your mom. With this. Skye picked at the edge of her cardigan. What will you do? I don't know yet, but I have enough money saved, enough to help, enough to stay. You don't have to do that. I know. You could just send money. That would be easier. Easier isn't always better. Skye thought about that. Are you scared? Miles nodded. Terrified. Of what? Of messing this up. Of not being enough. Of letting you down. You already let me down once, when you were late that day. I know. But you came back. I did. That's different than not showing up at all. Miles looked at her. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. Adults just don't listen. He smiled a little. You're right. They sat in silence for a while. Then Skye asked the question she'd been holding. What happens when this stops being new? When helping us isn't interesting anymore? Miles turned to face her fully. This isn't interesting to me, Sky. It's not a project. It's not something I'm doing to feel better about myself. Then what is it? He thought about how to answer. It's the first thing I've done in 20 years that actually matters. We're not your second chance. No, you're not. You're just people who deserved better than what happened, and I'm trying to be part of making that better. Sky wanted to believe him, but trust was hard. My mom really likes you, she said quietly. Miles looked surprised. She does? Yeah. She said you're a good man trying to figure out how to be good. That's generous. She's generous. Too generous sometimes. Is that why you're not? Sky shrugged. Someone has to protect her. From me? From everyone. Miles nodded slowly. That's fair. They walked home together. When they got to the apartment, Althea was cooking. Actually cooking. Not just heating things up. The smell hit them when they opened the door. Is that chicken? Sky asked. Her mother smiled. It is. Sky couldn't remember the last time they had real chicken. Miles, stay for dinner, Althea said. It wasn't a question. I don't want to intrude. You're not. So he stayed. They ate together, talked about small things, laughed at something stupid on TV. It felt like family. That thought scared Sky more than she wanted to admit. After dinner, Miles started to clean up. Althea stopped him. Sit. Rest. You've done enough. I don't mind. I know, but let me do this. Miles sat back down, watched her move around the kitchen. Sky saw something pass between them. Not romantic. Something else. Respect, maybe. Understanding. Later, when Miles was leaving, Althea walked him to the door. Sky pretended not to listen from the couch. Thank you, her mother said quietly. For everything. You don't have to keep thanking me. Yes, I do. You gave us our life back. You did that? I just helped. We couldn't have done it without you. Miles was quiet for a moment. I couldn't have lived with myself if I didn't try. Well, I'm glad you tried. Me too. After he left, Sky asked her mother something that had been bothering her. Do you think he'll stay? For real? Althea sat down next to her. I think he wants to. That's not the same thing. No, it's not. But it's something. What if he leaves? Then we'll be sad. And then we'll keep going. Like we always have. Sky leaned against her mother's shoulder. I don't want to get used to him being here. Why not? Because it'll hurt more when he's gone. Althea kissed the top of her head. Sometimes the risk of hurt is worth the chance of love. If that line just hit you in the chest, do me a favor. Subscribe right now. Because this story is about to get messier before it gets better, and I don't want you to miss the moment everything almost falls apart. Comment below and finish this sentence. The hardest part of love is... I'll respond to as many as I can. Now, let's see if they can survive what's coming. Is that what this is? Love? I don't know yet, but it's something close. That night, Sky lay in bed thinking about what love meant. Her mother loved her. She knew that. But what was Miles doing? Was it love? Or was it guilt? Did it matter if the result was the same? She didn't have answers. But she was starting to hope that maybe it didn't matter. Maybe trying was enough. A month later, everything changed again. Not bad change. Different change. Miles found an apartment 3 blocks away. Small. 1 bedroom. Nothing fancy. I'm tired of hotels, he said when he told them. Sky didn't know what to feel about that. Having him close felt safe, but also permanent in a way that scared her. You really staying? She asked. I really am. What if you change your mind? Then I'll still be 3 blocks away dealing with a lease I signed. Sky almost smiled at that. The new apartment was empty except for a couch and a bed. Miles didn't seem to care. "I was never good at decorating anyway," he said. Althea offered to help. They went to a thrift store together, came back with dishes and towels and a lamp that didn't match anything. Skye watched her mother laugh while putting things away. Really laugh. She hadn't heard that sound in so long she'd almost forgotten what it sounded like. That night, Miles invited them over for dinner. He ordered pizza because he didn't know how to cook. They sat on the floor because there wasn't a table yet. "This is pathetic," Miles said, looking around. "It's perfect," Althea said. Skye agreed, but didn't say it out loud. After they left Miles' apartment, Skye walked slower than usual. Her mother noticed. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Skye, I don't know. It feels weird." "What does?" "All of this. Being happy, feeling safe, like something bad is going to happen to balance it out." Althea stopped walking, turned to face her. "Baby, not everything good has to be followed by something bad. It always has been before. I know. But maybe that's changing." Skye wanted to believe that, but believing felt dangerous. At school the next day something happened. During lunch, Marcus asked Skye a question. "You want to come to my birthday party?" Skye looked up from her food. "What?" "My birthday. Saturday. My mom said I could invite friends." "Friends." The word sat strange in her chest. "I don't know. It's just pizza and games. Nothing big." Jasmine leaned over. "I'm going." "You should come." Skye hadn't been to a birthday party in 3 years, maybe 4. "I'll think about it." That afternoon she told Miles about the invitation. "Are you going to go?" he asked. "I don't know." "Why not?" "Because I don't know how to be normal at things like that." Miles was quiet for a moment. "Nobody knows how to be normal, Skye. We all just pretend until it feels real." "That sounds exhausting." "It is, but it's also how you make friends." Skye thought about it that night. Talked to her mother. "You should go," Althea said. "Have fun. Be a kid." "What if I don't fit in?" "Then you leave early. But at least you tried." Saturday came. Miles drove Skye to Marcus's house. She held the gift they'd bought. A book. She'd spent 30 minutes picking it out. "You want me to walk you in?" Miles asked. "No, that's weird." "Okay, text if you need me." "I will." She got out of the car, walked to the door, knocked. Marcus's mom answered. She was nice, smiled big. "You must be Skye. Come in." Inside there were balloons, other kids from school, music playing. Skye felt out of place immediately, but Marcus saw her and waved her over. "You came." "Yeah, want to play?" They played games, ate pizza, sang happy birthday. Skye laughed, actually laughed. It felt strange, but good. When Miles picked her up later, she was smiling. "How was it?" he asked. "Good." "Yeah?" "Yeah." He looked relieved, like he'd been worried all afternoon. They drove back in comfortable silence. When they got home, her mother was waiting. "Tell me everything." Skye told her about the games, the cake, how Marcus's little sister kept trying to steal everyone's pizza. Althea smiled the whole time. That night Skye realized something. She was starting to build a life. Not just survive, actually live. The thought was terrifying and hopeful at the same time. The next week, Mrs. Patterson came back for her monthly check-in. She looked around, asked her questions, wrote her notes. "I'm impressed," she said finally. "You've maintained everything. That's not easy." "We're trying," Althea said. "It shows." Mrs. Patterson looked at Skye. "How are you doing?" "Good." "School okay?" "Yes." "Friends?" "A couple." Mrs. Patterson smiled slightly. "That's good." She closed her folder. "I'll see you next month. Keep doing what you're doing." After she left, Althea sat down heavily. Every time she comes, I think she's going to take you away. She's not. I know, but I still think it. Sky understood. She thought it too. Miles came by later, brought groceries even though they didn't need any. I might have a problem, he said. What kind? Althea asked. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. Work used to fill all my time. That sounds nice, actually. It's weird. I'm not used to having free time. Sky looked up from her homework. You could help me with math. Miles blinked. Really? I'm bad at fractions. I'm probably bad at teaching fractions. Then we'll both be bad together. He sat down next to her, looked at her homework. Okay, show me what you don't understand. They worked on math for an hour. Miles was patient, explained things differently when she didn't get it. By the end, Sky understood fractions better than she had all year. Thanks, she said. Any time. Later that night after Miles left, Sky asked her mother something. Do you think we're a family now? Althea looked at her carefully. What do you think? I don't know. It feels like it, but also not. Why not? Because families don't fall apart when one person leaves, and if Miles left, everything would fall apart again. Would it? Sky thought about it. Maybe not everything, but some things. That's true of any family, though. We all depend on each other. But what if he's just here because he feels guilty? Then he's still here, and that counts for something. Sky nodded slowly. She was learning that love wasn't always simple. Sometimes it was messy and complicated and built on broken things, but it was still love. 3 months in, and the first real fight happened. It started small. Stupid even. Miles brought over dinner, Chinese food. He'd been doing that a lot lately. You don't have to keep buying us food, Althea said. I know. So why do you? Because I'm here anyway, and you're tired from work. Althea had started working again, part-time at a grocery store. It wasn't much, but it was hers. I can feed my own daughter, she said. Her voice had an edge Sky hadn't heard in a while. Miles put the food down. I know you can. Then let me. I'm just trying to help. I don't need help with everything. I didn't say you did, but you act like it. Miles looked confused. What are you talking about? Althea's hands were shaking slightly. You swoop in with money and food and solutions. You fix everything, and I'm grateful. I am, but I also feel like I'm disappearing. Sky sat frozen on the couch. She wanted to leave, but couldn't move. I don't understand, Miles said. I know you don't. That's the problem. Then explain it to me. Althea sat down, put her face in her hands. I was drowning. You saved me, but now I don't know how to swim on my own anymore. Miles sat down across from her. You're working. You're taking care of Sky. You're doing everything yourself. With your money. In an apartment you paid for. Eating food you bought. So what? Does it matter where it comes from if it keeps you afloat? Yes. Because what happens when you decide you're done? When this stops being fulfilling for you? That's not going to happen. You don't know that. Yes, I do. No, you don't. People leave. They always leave. The words hit hard. Miles leaned forward. I'm not people. Everyone says that. I've been here for 3 months, every day. 3 months isn't forever. What do you want from me? A contract? A promise in blood? Althea looked up, tears in her eyes. I want to know that if you leave, we'll survive. And right now I don't know if we will. The room went silent. Sky finally spoke. We'll survive. Both adults turned to look at her. We survived before he came. We'll survive if he goes. Sky, her mother started. It's true. We will. It'll hurt. It'll be hard. But we'll do it. She looked at Miles. But I don't think he's leaving. How do you know? Althea asked. Because he's not fixing us anymore. He's just here. Miles stared at Sky like she'd said something profound. She's right, he said quietly. I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm just trying to stay. Althea wiped her eyes. I'm sorry. I just got scared. Of what? Of needing you. I swore I'd never need anyone again. Needing people isn't weakness. Feels like it sometimes. Miles moved to sit next to her, not touching, just close. I'm scared too, he admitted. Every day I wake up terrified I'm going to mess this up. You're doing fine. Am I? Because it feels like I'm stumbling through every conversation hoping I don't say the wrong thing. Althea laughed a little. That's just parenting. I'm not her parent. Aren't you, though? A little? Miles looked at Sky. She looked back. I don't know what I am, he said honestly. You're Miles, Sky said. That's enough. The tension broke. Althea stood up. I'm sorry I snapped. Don't be. You were right to say it. Can we eat now? The food's getting cold. They ate dinner, talked about easier things, but something had shifted. They'd had their first real fight, and nobody left. That mattered more than Sky knew how to say. Later that night after Miles went home, Sky asked her mother something. Do you love him? Althea looked surprised. What? Miles, do you love him? I don't know. Maybe. It's complicated. Why? Because love means different things depending on the situation. What does it mean here? Althea thought about it. Here, it means trust, and partnership, and showing up even when it's hard. That sounds like love to me. Maybe it is. Sky thought about that, about what love looked like when it wasn't perfect. I think I love him too, she said quietly, but not like a dad, like something else. Like what? Like someone who chose to stay when he could have left. Althea pulled her close. That's a good kind of love. The next morning, Miles came by early. He looked nervous. I want to talk to both of you, he said. They sat down. I've been thinking about what you said yesterday, he told Althea. About needing to be independent. About not wanting to rely on me. Miles, let me finish. Shh, you're right. I've been making myself too necessary. So I want to change that. How? I want to put money in an account. Your account. Enough to cover 6 months of expenses. That way you know if I disappear tomorrow, you'll be okay. Althea stared at him. You'd do that? Yes. Why? Because I don't want you to stay with me out of fear. I want you to stay because you want to. I do want to. Then prove it by having the freedom to leave. Sky watched this conversation, feeling something grow in her chest. This was what love looked like. Not perfect. Not easy, but honest. Okay, Althea said finally. Thank you. Miles nodded. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Sky spoke. Can we get pancakes now? Both adults laughed. Yeah, Miles said. We can get pancakes. They went to a diner, ate breakfast, talked about nothing important. And for the first time since all of this started, Sky felt something she hadn't felt in years, safe enough to imagine a future. 6 months passed like water through fingers. Sky turned 10 in March. Miles and her mother threw her a party. Small, just Marcus and Jasmine and a few other kids from school. There was cake, presents, balloons that said double digits. Sky blew out the candles and made a wish she didn't tell anyone. She wished for nothing to change. That night after everyone left, Miles helped clean up. Good party? He asked Sky. The best I've ever had. Really? Really? He looked pleased, like that mattered to him. Althea was in the kitchen washing dishes. She'd been quiet all evening. Miles noticed. You okay? Yeah, just thinking. About what? About how a year ago we had nothing. And now we have this. She gestured around the apartment, at the decorations, at Sky playing with her new books. It feels like a dream sometimes. It's not a dream, Miles said. I know. That's what scares me. Why? Because dreams end, and this feels too good to last. Miles dried a plate. What if it does last? Then I'm lucky. Luckier than I deserve. Stop saying that. Althea looked at him. Saying what? That you don't deserve good things. You do. Sky does. And you? Miles paused. I'm working on believing that. They finished the dishes in comfortable silence. Later, Sky asked Miles to stay for a movie. He said yes. They watched something animated. Sky fell asleep halfway through. Miles carried her to bed without being asked. When he came back, Althea was sitting on the couch, looking at him differently. What? He asked. You're good with her. I'm trying. It's more than trying. You care. Miles sat down. Of course I care. When this started, I didn't think you would. Not really. I thought you'd throw money at the problem and disappear. So did I, honestly. What changed? Miles thought about it. I met a 9-year-old girl who carried a suitcase full of money to the police because she thought it was right, and I realized I'd never done anything that brave in my entire life. Althea smiled. She is pretty brave. She gets it from you. No. She got it from necessity. I got sick. She had to grow up fast. That's not your fault. Feels like it is. Miles turned to face her. You did everything you could with what you had. That's all any parent can do. Are you a parent now? The question hung between them. I don't know what I am, Miles admitted. But I know I love her, and I know I love you. Althea went very still. Miles looked panicked. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Why not? Because it's too much. Too fast. We're still figuring this out. Miles. I don't want to ruin this by wanting too much. Miles. He stopped talking. Althea took his hand. I love you too. His eyes went wide. You do? I think I have for a while. I was just too scared to say it. Scared of what? Of it being real. Of losing it if I named it. Miles squeezed her hand. I'm not going anywhere. You keep saying that. Because I keep meaning it. They sat there holding hands like teenagers. What do we do now? Althea asked. I have no idea. I've never been good at this part. What part? The being happy part. I usually sabotage it. Please don't. I'll try not to. They talked until midnight. About everything. About nothing. When Miles finally left, Althea leaned against the door, smiling. For the first time in years, she felt something that scared her more than poverty ever did. Hope. The next morning, Sky noticed something different. Her mother was humming. Actually humming. You're happy, Sky said. I am. Why? Because things are good. Can't I just be happy? You can. It's just weird. Althea laughed, pulled Sky into a hug. Get used to weird. This is our life now. At school that day, Jasmine asked Sky about the party. It was fun, right? Yeah? Your family seems nice? Sky paused. They're not really my family. They're not? I mean, my mom is. But Miles isn't. He acts like family. Sky thought about that. I guess he does. Does that bother you? No, it's just strange. Having more people. Strange good or strange bad? Strange good, I think. Marcus joined them. What are we talking about? Family, Jasmine said. Cool, what about it? Sky shrugged. Just that it's bigger than I thought it could be. Marcus nodded like he understood. My grandma says family is who shows up, not who you're related to. Your grandma sounds smart, Sky said. She is. She makes good cookies, too. They all laughed. After school, Miles was waiting. On time, like always. Good day? He asked. Yeah. Learn anything interesting? That family is who shows up. Miles looked at her. That's true. So I guess that makes you family. His eyes got shiny. He looked away fast. I guess it does. They walked home together. Sky reached for his hand. Miles took it. Neither of them said anything. They didn't need to. Summer came fast. School ended. Sky's report card was good. Not perfect, but better than last year. Miles took them out to celebrate. Ice cream. The expensive kind. "What do you want to do this summer?" he asked Sky. She thought about it. "Normal things." "Like what?" "Go to the park, watch movies, be bored sometimes." Miles smiled. "We can do that." They did. Most days were simple. Breakfast together, Sky reading on the couch, her mother working evening shifts, Miles coming over to make dinner. It wasn't exciting, but it was steady, and steady felt like a miracle. One afternoon, Althea came home early from work. She was crying. Sky jumped up. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong." "Then why are you crying?" Althea sat down, pulled an envelope from her purse. "They're promoting me, full-time, benefits, everything." Sky stared. "That's good, right?" "That's amazing." "Then why are you crying?" "Because a year ago I couldn't get out of bed, and now I'm getting promoted." She pulled Sky close, held her tight. "We did it, baby. We actually did it." When Miles came over that night, they told him. He looked genuinely happy. "That's incredible." "It's because of you," Althea said. "No, it's because you worked hard." "I could only work hard because you gave me the chance." Miles shook his head. "I gave you money. You gave yourself the chance." They celebrated with takeout. Chinese again. It had become their thing. After dinner, Sky went to her room. Let the adults talk alone. She heard their voices. Low. Serious. She pressed her ear to the door. "I want to pay you back," her mother was saying. "No." "Miles, I don't want your money." "It's not about what you want. It's about what's right." "What's right is you using that money for Sky. For yourself. For the future. I can't just take everything and give nothing back. You've given me more than you know." Silence. Then her mother's voice again. Softer. "What have I given you?" "A reason to be better. A reason to stay in one place. A reason to care about something other than money." "That's not enough." "It's everything." Sky moved away from the door, went back to her bed. She thought about what it meant to give, to receive, to owe someone. She didn't have answers. The next week, something happened that changed everything again. Sky was at the park with Marcus and Jasmine when she saw a woman watching her. The woman was older, well-dressed. She had a camera. Sky's stomach dropped. She knew what this was. The woman walked over. "Sky Johnson? Leave me alone. I just want to ask a few questions." "No. It'll only take a minute." Marcus stepped forward. She said no. The woman ignored him. "How does it feel to be the girl who returned $300,000? Sky felt her chest tighten. "Go away." "Do you regret it? Giving the money back?" "I didn't give it back. I brought it to the police." "Same thing." "It's not." The woman smiled, like she'd gotten what she wanted. Sky turned and ran. Marcus and Jasmine followed her. They didn't stop until they were 3 blocks away. "You okay?" Jasmine asked. "No." "Who was that?" "A reporter. They've been trying to talk to me since it happened." "That's messed up." "Yeah." Sky called Miles. He came immediately. When she told him what happened, his face went hard. "Did she follow you?" "I don't think so. If she shows up again, you call me right away. Understand?" "Okay." That night, Miles talked to Althea. Their voices were louder than usual. Sky couldn't hear everything. Just pieces. "We should move. We can't just uproot her. She's not safe here. She's safer than she's ever been. You didn't see her face. She was terrified. So we teach her how to handle it. We don't run." Silence. Then Miles again. "I hate that this is still following her. It's part of her story. She can't escape it. She shouldn't have to carry it, but she does." and we help her carry it. Sky pulled her pillow over her head. She was tired of being the girl who found the money. She just wanted to be Sky. The next morning, she told Miles she didn't want to go to the park anymore. Why not? Because people know who I am there. So we find new places. Or I just stay home. That's not a solution. It's easier. Miles knelt down. Easier isn't always better. Everyone keeps saying that, but nobody explains why. Because easy keeps you safe but small. Hard makes you grow. What if I don't want to grow? What if I just want to be left alone? Miles didn't have an answer for that. That afternoon, Althea sat with Sky. Talk to me. About what? About what you're feeling. I'm feeling tired. Of what? Of being special? Of being a story? Of people looking at me like I did something amazing when all I did was try not to be a thief? Althea pulled her close. I know, baby. Do you? Because you didn't have to live with it. You were sick. You missed all of it. The words came out harsher than Sky meant them. Her mother flinched. You're right, I wasn't there, and I'm sorry. Sky felt tears coming. I didn't mean it like that. I know, but it's still true. They sat in silence. Then Althea spoke. You saved us. You know that, right? I didn't save anyone. Miles did. No, you did. By being brave enough to do the right thing. By bringing that money to the police. By holding us together when I couldn't. I didn't want to be brave. I just wanted you to be okay. That's what brave is. Doing hard things because you love someone. Sky wiped her eyes. I'm tired of being brave. Then rest. Let us be brave for you for a while. Sky nodded. She was learning that strength wasn't about never breaking. It was about letting people catch you when you did. August brought change nobody expected. Miles got a call one morning. Sky was eating cereal when she heard him answer. His voice changed, went tight. When? He asked. Pause. I understand. He hung up, stared at the phone. What's wrong? Sky asked. Nothing. Just business stuff. But it wasn't nothing. Sky could tell. That evening out he came over looking different. Older, somehow. I need to tell you both something, he said. Althea and Sky sat down. Sky's stomach twisted. The company I sold, they're suing me. For what? Althea asked. They're saying I misrepresented the value, that I knew about problems and didn't disclose them. Did you? No, but that doesn't matter. The lawsuit exists. What does that mean? Miles rubbed his face. It means legal fees. It means my accounts might get frozen. It means things are about to get complicated. Sky felt cold. Are you going to be okay? Yes, eventually. But it's going to be messy for a while. How long? I don't know. Months. Maybe a year. Althea stood up, started pacing. This is because of us. What? No. Yes, it is. You sold your company because you were too busy helping us. Now you're getting punished for it. That's not how this works. Isn't it? You said yourself your head wasn't in it anymore, that you couldn't run it like you used to. That doesn't make this your fault. Althea stopped pacing, looked at him. What happens to us if you lose everything? Nothing happens to you. The money I put in your account is separate. They can't touch it. But what about you? I'll figure it out. How? I always do. Sky spoke up. You could leave. Move somewhere cheaper. Start over. Miles looked at her. I'm not leaving, but it would be easier. Easier isn't always better. Sky almost smiled. You keep saying that. Because it keeps being true. That night after Miles left, Sky couldn't sleep. She thought about the suitcase, about finding it, about everything that came after. If she'd never picked it up, none of this would be happening. Her mother would still be sick. They'd still be poor, but Miles wouldn't be getting sued. She didn't know if that was better or worse. The next morning, she found her mother sitting at the table, papers spread out in front of her. "What are you doing?" "Looking at our finances." "Why?" "Because we need to help Miles." "He said he doesn't need help." "He said that." "Doesn't make it true." Sky sat down. "How can we help? We don't have anything." "We have what he gave us. We can give some back." "Mom, that's our money, for emergencies." "This is an emergency, not ours." Althea looked at her. "He's family. His emergencies are ours." Sky thought about that. "What if we give it back and something happens to you again?" "Then we deal with it. That's not a plan. It's called faith, baby." "Faith doesn't pay rent." Althea smiled sadly. "No, but it keeps you human." They argued about it for an hour. Finally, Sky gave up. Her mother was going to do what she wanted anyway. That afternoon, Althea called Miles, asked him to come over. When he arrived, she handed him an envelope. "What's this?" he asked. $10,000. "It's what we can spare right now." Miles stared at the envelope like it might bite him. "I can't take this." "You can. And you will." "No. Miles, I gave you that money so you'd be safe, so you'd have something if I disappeared. Taking it back defeats the purpose." "You're not disappearing. You're struggling. There's a difference. I'm fine. You're not, and we're helping." Miles looked at Sky. "Did you agree to this?" "No, but she's doing it anyway." He turned back to Althea. "I don't need your money." "Maybe not. But you need to know we're here, that you're not alone in this." Miles's eyes got wet. He put the envelope down without opening it. "Thank you. But no." "Why not?" "Because if I take this, I'm no better than I was before. Using people. Taking from them. You gave first. That's different." "It doesn't feel different." Althea picked up the envelope, forced it into his hands. "Then let it feel different. Learn to receive. Learn to let people help you." Miles held the envelope like it was made of glass. "This scares me more than being sued," he admitted. "Why?" "Because taking help means admitting I can't do everything alone." "Good. You shouldn't have to." Miles sat down, looked at the envelope, at them. "I don't deserve this." Sky spoke up. "You said I deserved help, even when I didn't think I did." "That's different." "How?" Miles didn't have an answer. Finally, he nodded. "Okay. Thank you." Althea smiled. "You're welcome." That night, Sky asked her mother something. "Are we going to be okay?" "Yes." "How do you know?" "Because we have each other. And sometimes that's enough." Sky wanted to believe that. She was trying to. The lawsuit moved forward. Miles got quieter. More stressed, but he still showed up every day. Still walked Sky to the park. Still ate dinner with them. Still tried. One evening, he looked exhausted. "You should rest," Althea said. "I'm fine. You're not." "I will be." Sky watched him pretend to be okay. Watched him carry weight he wouldn't share. "You don't have to be strong all the time," she said quietly. Miles looked at her. "Yes, I do." "Why?" "Because you need me to be." "No. We need you to be honest." The words landed. Miles's shoulders sagged. "I'm terrified. I'm scared I'm going to lose everything. That I won't be able to help you anymore. That I'll let you down." "You already helped us," Sky said. "Even if you lose everything tomorrow, you already did enough." Miles closed his eyes. "That doesn't feel like enough." "It is, though." Althea took his hand. "You don't have to carry this alone." "I don't know how to not carry things alone." "Then learn." We'll teach you. Miles nodded slowly. For the first time since the lawsuit started, he looked a little lighter. The lawsuit dragged on for months. Miles got quieter, thinner. His clothes didn't fit right anymore. He still came around, but something was different. He was there, but not really there. Sky noticed first. "You're disappearing," she told him one afternoon. Miles looked up from his phone. "What?" "You're here, but you're not. You're somewhere else in your head. I'm sorry, there's just a lot happening. I know. But you're still disappearing." Miles put his phone down. "You're right. I'm sorry." "Stop saying sorry. Just be here." He nodded, tried harder after that, but Sky could tell it was costing him something. October came. The leaves changed. School started again. 5th grade, new teacher, same friends. Marcus asked Sky about Miles one day at lunch. "Is he okay? He looked sad when he picked you up yesterday." "He's dealing with stuff." "What kind of stuff?" "Adult stuff. Legal things." "That sucks." "Yeah." Jasmine joined them. "My mom said he's getting sued." Sky tensed. "How does your mom know that?" "It was in the news. She showed me the article." Sky's stomach dropped. What did it say? Just that he's in trouble, that he might lose money. Sky didn't eat the rest of her lunch. That afternoon, she asked Miles about it. "People know about the lawsuit." "I know." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you're 10. You shouldn't have to worry about this." "But I do worry. And finding out from other people makes it worse." Miles stopped walking. "You're right. I should have told you." "So tell me now." "All of it." He sat down on a bench. Sky sat next to him. "The company is saying I lied about how much it was worth, that I knew there were problems and sold it anyway." "Did you?" "No, but I was distracted. I missed things I should have caught, and now they're using that against me." "Oh, what happens if you lose?" "I pay them money." "A lot of it." "How much?" "Enough that I'd have to sell my apartment, move somewhere cheaper, start over." Sky felt her chest tighten. "Would you leave?" "The city?" "No, I'd find a place nearby." "Promise?" Miles looked at her. "I promise." They sat in silence. Then Sky asked what she'd been holding in. "Is this my fault?" "What?" "No. If I hadn't found that suitcase, if you hadn't met us, you'd still have your company. And I'd still be miserable. But you'd have money." "Money doesn't make you happy, Sky. It just makes you comfortable while you're unhappy." "That sounds like something adults say to feel better about being broke." Miles laughed. Actually laughed. "Maybe. But it's also true." That night Althea made dinner. Spaghetti. Miles's favorite. He barely ate. "You need to eat," Althea said. "I'm not hungry." "You haven't been hungry in weeks." "I'm stressed." "Starving yourself won't fix that." Miles put his fork down. "I don't know what will fix it." Althea reached across the table, took his hand. "Time, and truth, and people who love you. That's not enough. It's all we have." Miles looked at her, really looked at her. "What if I lose everything?" "Then you lose everything, and we're still here. I won't be able to help you anymore. We don't need help. We need you. That's not enough." "Why not?" Miles pulled his hand back. "Because being present doesn't pay bills. It doesn't keep you safe. It doesn't protect you from the world." "No, but it keeps us together. And that matters more." "Does it?" "Because from where I'm sitting, all I've done is make things harder for everyone." Sky spoke up. "That's not true." Miles looked at her. "Isn't it? You get bothered at school because of me. Your mom feels guilty because I'm struggling. Everything would be simpler if I'd never gotten involved." "Simpler isn't better," Sky said, using his own words against him. Miles almost smiled. "You're too smart for your own good. I learned from you." The next week the lawsuit settled. Miles called that night. His voice sounded empty. It's over. What happened? Althea asked. I settled. Paid them half of what they wanted. Signed papers saying I wouldn't fight it. How much did you lose? Enough. Miles, I don't want to talk about numbers. It's done. Are you okay? Long pause. No, but I will be. He came over the next day, looked defeated. I have to sell my apartment, he said. Move somewhere smaller. You can stay here, Althea offered immediately. I can't do that. Why not? Because you need your space. We have space. The couch pulls out. Miles shook his head. I've taken enough from you. You gave us everything. Let us give something back. I can't. Yes, you can. Stop being proud and just accept help. They argued for 20 minutes. Finally, Miles agreed, just for a month, until he found something. He moved in 2 days later, 1 suitcase, 1 bag. Everything else was sold or stored. Skye helped him set up the pull-out couch. This is weird, she said. Yeah. Good weird or bad weird? I don't know yet. That night they all sat in the small living room, watching TV, not talking much. It felt crowded, but not uncomfortable. Before bed, Skye asked Miles something. Are you sad? A little? About the money? About losing. I'm not used to losing. Is that what this is? Losing? Miles thought about it. I don't know. It feels like it. Maybe you didn't lose. Maybe you just changed direction. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. You just started listening. Miles smiled. First real smile in weeks. Thank you for letting me stay. Thank you for not leaving. That night, Skye lay in bed listening to the apartment. Her mother's breathing. Miles shifting on the couch. The radiator clanking. It was crowded. It was messy. It wasn't perfect. But it was family. And that was enough. Living together was harder than anyone expected. The apartment was small. 1 bathroom, thin walls, no privacy. Miles tried to stay out of the way. He woke up early, folded the couch, made coffee, left for job interviews before Skye woke up. But his stuff was everywhere. His shoes by the door, his laptop on the table, his presents filling spaces that used to be theirs alone. After 2 weeks, Althea snapped, "Can you please put your dishes in the sink?" Miles looked up from his phone. I was going to. When? They've been sitting there all morning. I've been busy. So have I, but I still clean up after myself. Miles stood up, grabbed his plate, put it in the sink harder than necessary. Sorry, he said, but he didn't sound sorry. Skye stayed quiet in her room. She heard everything through the walls. Later that night, her mother came in. I'm sorry you heard that. It's okay. No, it's not. Adults shouldn't fight in front of kids. You weren't fighting. You were just frustrated. Althea sat on the bed. This is harder than I thought it would be. Having Miles here? Having anyone here. I got used to it being just us. Do you want him to leave? No, but I also miss our space. Me too. They sat in silence for a minute. Should we tell him? Skye asked. Tell him what? That it's not working. I don't know. Is it not working, or are we just adjusting? Skye thought about it. I don't know either. The next morning, Miles was gone before they woke up. He left a note, looking at apartments today, back tonight. He came home after 8, looked exhausted. Any luck? Althea asked. Everything's too expensive, or too far, or too small. You can stay here as long as you need. I know. But I need to find my own place. Why? We have room. Barely. And I can hear you getting frustrated with me. Althea's face fell. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, it's okay. You're right. I'm in your way. You're not in our way. Then what am I? Althea didn't have an answer. Skye spoke up from the hallway. You're uncomfortable. And so are we. But that doesn't mean you should leave. Both adults looked at her. What do you mean? Miles asked. I mean, being uncomfortable is part of this. We're figuring it out. If you leave now, we don't get to finish figuring it out. Sky, I'm serious. You always told me hard doesn't mean wrong. This is hard, but it's not wrong. Miles sat down, put his head in his hands. I don't know how to live with people anymore. I forgot how. Then relearn, Sky said. We'll help. That week, they made rules. Miles got the couch until 9. Then it had to be folded. Everyone cleaned their own dishes immediately. Bathroom time was scheduled, 15 minutes each. It helped, a little, but the tension was still there. One night Sky woke up to voices, her mother and Miles, talking quietly in the kitchen. I can't keep doing this, Miles was saying. Doing what? Being a burden. You're not a burden. I am. I see it in your face, the way you tense up when I'm here, the way you wait for me to leave before you relax. That's not. It is, and I get it. This is your home. I'm just staying here. You're not just anything. You're part of this family. Am I? Because sometimes it feels like I'm just the guy who helped once and now won't leave. Silence. Then Althea spoke. Is that really what you think? I don't know what to think anymore. Do you want to leave? Long pause. No, but I think I should. Those aren't the same thing. I know. More silence. Then Althea said something that made Sky's chest tight. If you leave now, it proves you only stayed when it was easy. That's not fair. Maybe not. But it's true. I stayed through the lawsuit, through losing everything. How is that easy? Because you were the victim then. Everyone felt sorry for you. Now you're just inconvenient. And that's harder. Miles didn't respond. Sky heard someone crying. Couldn't tell who. The next morning, Miles was at the table when Sky woke up. He looked like he hadn't slept. I'm staying, he said without looking up. Okay. I don't know if this will work, but I'm staying until we figure it out. Okay. He finally looked at her. Are you okay with that? Sky poured cereal, sat down across from him. Do you love us? She asked. Yes. Then stay. Everything else we can figure out. Miles nodded slowly. That afternoon he came home with groceries, started making dinner without being asked. Althea came home from work, tired. Saw him cooking. You didn't have to do that. I know, but I wanted to. They ate dinner together. Didn't talk much, but it felt less tense than before. After dinner, Miles did the dishes. Althea dried. Sky watched them move around each other, learning to share space. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Later that night, Sky asked her mother something. Are we going to be okay? I think so. You don't sound sure. I'm not, but I'm hopeful. That's enough for now. Sky thought about hope, about how fragile it was, how hard to hold on to. I'm scared he'll leave, she admitted. Me too. But you told him to stay. Because love is choosing to be scared together instead of safe alone. Sky didn't fully understand that, but she nodded anyway. That night she fell asleep to the sound of Miles and her mother laughing about something in the kitchen. It was a good sound, one she wanted to keep hearing. Winter came early that year. The apartment got colder. The heater worked, but barely. Miles bought extra blankets, thick ones. He gave the best one to Sky without saying anything. She noticed. November brought Thanksgiving. None of them had plans. We should do something, Althea said. Like what? Miles asked. I don't know. Cook, eat together, be grateful. We do that every day. Then we make it special. They bought a small turkey, potatoes, pie from the store. Miles didn't know how to cook a turkey. Neither did Althea. They figured it out together, burned the edges, undercooked the middle, laughed about it. Sky set the table, used the nice plates they never touched. When they finally sat down, Miles looked around. Should we say something? He asked. Like grace? Althea said. Or just, I don't know. What we're thankful for. That's cheesy, Sky said. Do it anyway. Althea went first. I'm thankful we're all here. Healthy. Together. Miles went next. I'm thankful for second chances, even when they're harder than I expected. They both looked at Sky. She thought about it. I'm thankful for not being alone anymore. Nobody spoke for a moment. Then they ate. Bad turkey and all. It was the best meal Sky could remember. December brought Christmas, and money problems. Althea's hours got cut at work. Holiday season meant fewer shifts for part-timers. She didn't tell Miles at first, but bills piled up. Rent was due. The account Miles set up for them was running low. Finally, she told him. I can help, he said immediately. You don't have extra money. I have enough. Miles, let me help. You're already living here rent-free. So charge me rent. That's not the point. Then what is the point? Althea sat down, looked tired. The point is, I can't keep taking from you. It's not taking. It's family. Family shouldn't be one person giving and one person receiving. Then let me receive something. Let me help because I want to, not because you need it. Althea thought about that. What do you get out of this? Purpose. Belonging. Love. That's not equal. Who says it has to be? They argued quietly. Sky heard pieces from her room. Eventually they agreed. Miles would pay rent, small amount, enough to help. Christmas Eve, Sky found Miles wrapping presents. Who are those for? She asked. You, your mom. We said no presents this year. I know, I didn't listen. Miles, they're small. Don't worry. Christmas morning came. They opened presents on the floor. No tree, just them. Miles gave Althea a scarf, warm, soft. It's perfect, she said. He gave Sky books, 3 of them, all ones she'd mentioned wanting months ago. You remembered, she said. Of course I remembered. Sky gave Miles something she made at school, a frame with a photo of the 3 of them. Marcus had taken it at the park. They were all laughing at something. Miles stared at it for a long time. This is everything, he said quietly. Althea gave him a watch. Not expensive, but nice. So you stop checking your phone every 5 minutes, she said. He laughed. Put it on immediately. That afternoon they walked through the neighborhood, looked at lights, talked about nothing important. When they got home, Sky asked something she'd been holding. What happens next year? What do you mean? Miles asked. Next Christmas. Will we still be doing this? Do you want to be? Yeah. Then we will be. You can't promise that. Why not? Because things change. People leave. Miles knelt down. I'm not leaving, Sky. I know I keep saying it, but I mean it every time. What if something happens? What if you get sued again? What if you meet someone? Then I deal with it. And I'm still here. You can't know that. You're right. I can't. But I can promise to try. Every single day. Sky looked at her mother. Althea nodded. Okay, Sky said. I believe you. That night after Sky went to bed, Miles and Althea talked. She's scared, Althea said. I know. She's getting attached, so am I. Is that bad? I don't know. Attachment means risk. It also means love. Althea looked at him. Are we doing this? Really doing this? What's this? Building a life together, the 3 of us. Miles thought about it. Yes, if you'll have me. What does that look like? I don't know. We figure it out as we go. That's not much of a plan. It's the only plan I have. Althea smiled. It's not a great plan. No. But it's ours. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Althea asked something she'd been avoiding. Do you ever regret it? Getting involved with us? Never. Not even when things got hard? Especially not then. Why? Because hard means it matters. Easy is forgettable. This. This I'll remember forever. Althea leaned her head on his shoulder. Me too. January came with new routines. Miles found freelance work. Not much money, but enough. Sky started middle school next year. They talked about it sometimes. Althea got promoted again, more hours, better pay, things stabilized. Not perfect, but steady. One night Sky couldn't sleep. She went to the kitchen for water. Found Miles on the couch, still awake. You okay? She asked. Yeah, just thinking. About what? About how a year and a half ago I was someone completely different. Do you miss that person? Sometimes. He had more money. Less problems. But, Miles smiled. But he was lonely, and he didn't even know it. Sky sat next to him. Are you lonely now? No, never. Good. They sat together in the dark. After a while, Sky spoke. I'm glad you found that suitcase. You found the suitcase? But you put it there. So really you found me. Miles thought about that. I guess I did. Thanks for not giving up on us. Thanks for letting me stay. Sky leaned against him. Fell asleep there. Miles didn't move. Didn't want to wake her. He sat there thinking about fate and choice and how sometimes they were the same thing. We're almost at the end. One chapter left. If you've made it this far without subscribing, what are you even doing? Hit that button now, because I post stories like this that'll wreck you in the best way. And before we finish Sky's story, comment this. What's one choice you made that changed everything? Could be big, could be small. I want to know. All right, let's bring this home. Final chapter. 2 years after the suitcase, everything looked different. Sky was 12 now, taller, quieter in some ways, louder in others. Her mother managed the grocery store, full benefits, steady income. Miles worked from home, consulting, nothing like before, but enough. They moved to a bigger apartment, 2 bedrooms. Miles had his own space finally, but most nights he still fell asleep on their couch. Old habits. One Saturday morning, Sky found an old news article online. Girl returns $300,000 to billionaire. The headline felt like it was about someone else. She read it anyway, saw her 9-year-old face in the photo, red cardigan, scared eyes. What are you looking at? Miles asked. She showed him. He read it, face unreadable. Do you ever think about that day? He asked. Sometimes. Less now. Do you regret bringing it back? Sky thought about it. Really thought. No, but I regret what came after. The attention. The reporters. People treating me different. I'm sorry that happened. It's not your fault. It kind of is. Maybe. But I also got you out of it. And Mom got better, and we're here now. Miles nodded slowly. Was it worth it? I don't know. Is anything worth what it costs? That's a heavy question for a Saturday morning. You asked. They sat in silence for a minute. Then Sky said something she'd never said before. I forgive you. For the experiment. For watching me. For all of it. Miles looked stunned. I didn't know you were still angry. I wasn't angry, just hurt. But I'm not hurt anymore. Why not? Because you stayed. And staying fixed what watching broke. Miles's eyes got wet. He looked away. Thank you, he said quietly. You're welcome. That afternoon, the 3 of them went to the park. Same park where Sky used to play, where reporters found her, where everything felt too big. Now it just felt normal. They sat on a bench, watched kids play. I have something to tell you both, Miles said. Sky's stomach dropped. Those words never meant good things. What? Althea asked. I've been talking to a lawyer about adoption. Silence. Sky's heart stopped. What? I want to adopt you. Officially, if that's okay. Sky looked at her mother. Althea was crying. Is that okay? Miles asked again. I should have asked first. I wanted to know if it was possible before bringing it up. Why? Sky asked. Why do you want to adopt me? Because you're my daughter, in every way that matters. I just want it to be legal too. But you're not married to Mom. You don't have to be married to adopt. You just have to prove you're stable, that you're family. Sky didn't know what to feel. Happy. Scared. Confused. What if I say no? Then nothing changes. We keep going like we are. And if I say yes? Then nothing changes except a paper says what we already know. Sky thought about it. Can I think about it? Of course. Take all the time you need. That night, Sky talked to her mother. Do you want him to adopt me? I want whatever you want. That's not an answer. Althea sat on the bed. Yes, I want it. Because he's been your father in every way except legally for 2 years now. What if it makes things weird? Weirder than living together? Weirder than eating dinner every night? Weirder than him knowing your homework schedule? Sky almost smiled. I guess not. So, what are you scared of? That if it's official he can't leave, and then he'll feel trapped, and then he'll hate us. Or, he stays because he wants to, and the paper just proves what already exists. Sky thought about that. Okay, she said finally. Okay, what? Okay, I want him to adopt me. Althea hugged her, held on tight. He's going to cry when you tell him. I know. They told Miles the next morning. He did cry. A lot. Are you sure? He kept asking. I'm sure. You can change your mind any time. I won't. But you could. Miles, I'm sure. He pulled her into a hug, held on like he was afraid she'd disappear. Thank you, he whispered. Thank you for choosing me. You chose us first. Best decision I ever made. The paperwork took months. Background checks, home visits, interviews, all of it proving what they already knew. They were family. The day the adoption finalized, they went to court. Judge signed papers, made it official. Miles Calderon was legally Sky's father. They took a photo on the courthouse steps, all 3 of them, smiling, real smiles. That night they celebrated. Pizza, ice cream, movie, nothing fancy, just them. Before bed, Sky asked Miles something. Do I call you Dad now? Miles looked surprised. Do you want to? I don't know. It feels weird. Then don't. Call me Miles. Call me whatever feels right. What if nothing feels right? Then we wait until something does. Sky thought about it. Okay, Miles. He smiled. Okay, Sky. She hugged him good night. As she walked to her room, she turned back. Hey, Dad? Miles froze. Yeah? Thanks for not giving up on us. His voice cracked. Thanks for giving me a reason to stay. That night, Sky lay in bed thinking about everything. The suitcase, the police station, the fear, the uncertainty. All of it led here, to a family that started broken and built itself anyway, to love that wasn't perfect, but was real, to a home that was crowded and loud and exactly right. She thought about 9-year-old her, carrying that suitcase, scared and alone. She wished she could tell her it would be okay, that the hard part wouldn't last forever, that choosing right over easy would lead somewhere good. But maybe that 9-year-old already knew. Maybe that's why she brought it back in the first place. Not because she was sure it would work out, but because trying was better than not trying at all. Sky closed her eyes, listened to her family in the next room, her mother laughing at something on TV, her father doing dishes even though it wasn't his turn, the sound of people who chose each other, every single day. She smiled and fell asleep grateful, for second chances, for hard things that turned out right, for family that wasn't born but built, for the suitcase that changed everything, and for the courage to bring it back.